Welcome to Toronto, Ontario, where the weather this time of year is conducive to just about any activity you can name, including CFL football on ESPN. Fantastic finishes, bywords of the early season in the CFL. The site, Montreal's Olympic Stadium. The Alouettes seeking to upset favorite Toronto, but new Toronto quarterback Doug Glutie works his magic for the Argos, hitting Paul Massotti with a winning score. Paul Massotti! Unbelievable! He is a magician. Last week in Ottawa, another nail-biters. The Rough Riders, seeking their first win of the season, were down late to BC. But with 18 seconds to go, it all changed as David Archer hooked up with Joseph Rogers. The Riders ride into Toronto on a roll. Another fantastic finish. Archer and Glutie next on ESPN. Just a gorgeous day in Toronto. All right, how gorgeous is it? The weather's so nice they roll back the roof on Skydome for this Eastern Conference CFL battle between the Ottawa Rough Riders and the Toronto Argonauts. And a pleasant good day to you, everyone. I'm Tom Mees here in the end zone here at Skydome in Toronto. Before we take a look at these two teams up close and personal, let's take a look at where they stand. As we reach the fourth week of the Canadian Football League season, you can see the Hamilton Tiger Cats still lead the way, but this is a crucial matchup with Toronto and Ottawa separated by just one game in the standings, and the Montreal Alouettes still looking for their first win of the season. In Calgary, in the Western Division, they don't have Doug Glutie running their show anymore, but maybe they don't miss him. Off to a 3-0 start, followed by Edmonton, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, and the BC Lions. Now, I've been trying to think how best to introduce my analyst tonight. Do I call him a Grey Cup winner 6 times? Do I call him a CFL Hall of Famer? Or do I just call him what everybody else does? Dan Kepley. Dan, welcome.
Well, I think you should call me like Grasshopper from the movie Kung Fu, I think, because I am humbled before the master here tonight.
Well, it's getting awfully deep, awfully early, isn't it? Let's move on, shall we, and talk about two teams that know each other very well, and that's not a cliche when you consider Ottawa and Toronto.
They really are, and with right now with Ottawa, there are no less than 12 former Argonauts playing on that ball club. So right now, the athletic ability of these guys, they know each other so well, is not the case. What is going to be the case tonight? Who executes the best? Who makes the least mistakes this afternoon?
Dan, we've looked at the standings. We've seen how crucial this is in terms of numbers in the standings. But what are the keys for both clubs, starting with the home team, the Toronto Argonauts?
Tonight, the Toronto Argonauts, led by Doug Glutie, the first thing he has to do, score early, break the spirit of this Ottawa ball club. The other thing, run the ball inside with Drummond. It opens up his play-action passing. And when he does throw the ball vertical. Get it upfield. From the defensive side of the ball, force Archer to hold the ball a little bit. Let the heat up front take care of it. For the Ottawa Rough Riders, the first thing they can do, keep Doug Glutie off the field. The best defense they can possibly have. The second thing is rush the ball against this 7 DB defensive lineup of the Toronto Argonauts. Thirdly, when their defense gets the ball, stay in their lanes, make some pass rushes against Doug Glutie, keep him contained. Do not give up any cheap touchdowns.
And the head coaches for this football game at Skydome, Don Matthews coached Baltimore to the Grey Cup last year, Dan.
This is a guy that everywhere that he has taken a head coaching job, it has become a successful franchise, and they're looking for that to take place here in Toronto.
And for the Ottawa Rough Riders, an early season change. John Payne on the sidelines for only his second game as a head coach.
Big changes that took place after 3 weeks into the season. John Payne taking over the head coach. He was hired to just come in, help out with the special teams and the receivers. A week later, he is the head coach. Wins his first game last week against the BC Lions.
Ottawa Rough Riders, the underdog in this matchup, on their white uniforms, the white shirts with the black and red trim, while the Argonauts in their home blue with the white pants and the blue trim. Argonauts kicking off. Ottawa lost the toss, but Toronto elected to defer until the second half. Back in kickoff formation, Robert Gordon and Kenny Wilhite. Gordon number 84, Wilhite number 25. And this is Wilhite at the 15-yard line. Over the 30, breaks one tackle, and he is brought down eventually by number 39, Cooper Harris. And it'll be over the 35-yard line, 1st and 10 for Ottawa.
Good field position for David Archer to come out with and start with, and here's his offensive setups.
Of course, the veteran of many years in the NFL, David Archer, Reggie Barnes, Leo Knight, Robert Gordon, Bill Hess, Joseph Rogers, and Johnson Joseph. That's right.
Say that one, buddy.
Well, either way, it works. It works. The backfield, Kelly, Jovanovich, Monroe, Stevenson, and Burns. That's up front. The guys that'll try and keep the Toronto Argonauts off of David Archer. Archer handing off on the first play from scrimmage to Reggie Barnes, and Barnes over the 35 near the 40-yard line. Take a look at the Argonaut defensive structure. Gordon, Stewart, Waldrop, and Cofield, the 4 up front. And behind them, Marcelo Simmons, Don Odegaard, Murphy, Berry, Smith, Wilson, Gibbons, and Eaglett. Round out the 12 on the defensive side for Don Matthews.
Active defense for the Toronto Argonauts. Very fast, good team speed.
Second down at about 6 yards to go. Archer with his first throw of the night again gets it out in the flat to Reggie Barnes, who's tackled short of the first down marker at about the 44-yard line. Gibbons making the stop for Toronto.
Excellent play by Gibbons. He does a good job in the middle, covers it, zone defense, makes David Archer hold the ball, dumps it off. And then when he does, everybody does exactly what they should do on that defense. React up to it, stop him short of the first down, put him into a punting situation.
And Wayne Lamley back to punt for the Ottawa Rough Riders. And just like that, Toronto gets its hands on the ball first, and single safety Jimmy Cunningham, and he's got a lot of speed. He's standing at the Argonaut 25-yard line. Cunningham chased back on a good punt back to his 15.
Out, they got the wall set.
As an alley on the left side, the kicker may be the last to get him, and that's the case as Lamley grabbed a hold of some cloth and got Cunningham out of bounds.
You know, you're in a lot of trouble when you look up and your kicker is the last guy that's going to save you out of this, but Lamley does a good job of getting a little bit of cloth
and just driving Jimmy Cunningham out of bounds.
So on the field, that man.
Doug Glutie, he'll run the controls for the Argonauts. Pinball Clemens, Robert Drummond, his 2 main threats, along with Masadi, Williams, Fairholm, and Cunningham. And he has some talent up front. We'll take a look at that after the first play from scrimmage for the Argos at their own 49. Play fake, Flutie. In the flat, gets it over to Jeff Fairholm. Fairholm over center down to the 52-yard line. Frank West bumps him out of bounds for Ottawa. The offensive line in front of Flutie. Perez, Vircheval, Kislak, Burgos, and Stevenson.
Big difference up there in the Canadian Football League. 17 Canadians are on this 37-man roster. All normally are offensive linemen. For the Toronto Argonauts, 5 American offensive linemen. I'm sorry, 3 American offensive linemen up front.
That's unusual. Here's a give on his first carry of the night, and it's a good one. Robert Drummond barrels inside the 35-yard line down to the 29-yard line. So Robert Drummond had a big game last week. Continues impressive early.
Robert Drummond, this is a big man. We had an opportunity to sit down and talk with him a little bit yesterday. 6'3", about 220 pounds, runs 4'3", tremendously powerful, keeps the legs moving. Out of Syracuse.
And a cup of coffee with the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL. From a full-fledged star here with Toronto, and Flutie looking for Drummond. Leads him a bit too far. It'll be second down and 10. Gives us a chance to look at the Ottawa Rough Rider defensive alignment as they try and contain Doug Flutie, Birch, Lewis, Spanik, and Cummins, the defensive front 4. Followed by Humphreys, Merrill, Zakovich, Wilhite, Henry, Knight, Bernard, and West. Second and 10 at the Ottawa 31-yard line for Flutie. 4 men in motion at the snap, all going forward, and Flutie dumps out of the flat to Masadi. That's a bit of a milestone. That's his 38th straight game with at least 1 catch, but he doesn't pick up much real estate.
The veteran on this Toronto offense, Paul Masadi, played 9 years, all 9 of them here.
Hang on.
Doug Flutie does a good job of finding Masadi, but then Masadi has to give up just a little bit of ground to try to make that first down, and he's going to come up short.
Yeah. And that'll mean Mike Vanderchat comes in for his first field goal attempt. Flutie will be the holder at the 32-yard line, angled to the right. Those of you not familiar with the CFL rules, the goal, the crossbar is on the goal line. It's not 10 yards back. It's right on the goal line. So this is a 32-yard attempt.
Vanderjagt having a pretty good season so far. 6 for 9 in the field goal range. His longest, 45 yards.
Plenty long enough. And it has the direction. So with 11:29 to go in the first quarter, the Toronto Argonauts are on the board first. Vanderjagt's field goal has him up 3-0. Back with more from Toronto in a moment.
basketball fans, you can't beat this. The Chicago Bulls are the best ever. Enjoy all the record-breaking excitement in this thrill-packed video. The Chicago Bulls, 1996 NBA champions. Plus, this collector's dream, a limited edition leather-bound SI commemorative. Both are free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated, the magazine that gets you into sports like no one else. Call this toll-free number to run with the Bulls through a truly historic season as this amazing team rewrites the record books with a flourish and style all their own.
Yes, sir! Wow!
Soar with Michael, Scotty, and Luke. Be there with Harper, Kukoc, and Rodman in this one-of-a-kind video featuring the one and only Chicago Bulls. Free from Sports Illustrated.
I gotta give the book.
Call now and get your exclusive championship package, including the Sports Illustrated limited edition Chicago Bulls commemorative. Each collector's edition is leather-bound, gold embossed, and individually numbered. This colorful memento captures the mighty Bulls in a championship style you'll treasure forever.
Randy Brown lets it fly. Steve Kerr from 18.
Both collector's items are free when you order 54 issues of Sports Illustrated, including the 2 big football previews and the famous swimsuit issue for only $1.48 an issue. Save over 55% off the cover price. For quicker delivery, use your credit card.
What time is it?
This is how you get the exclusive, unbeatable victory pack. Don't miss it. Call now to save a piece of history. The Championship Bulls video and the special leather-bound collector's commemorative edition, both free from Sports Illustrated. A sports experience like no other. Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
Tom Mees and Dan Kempley back at Skydome in Toronto. Vanderjagt's field goal, Dan, has the Argonauts on the board early. That's what they wanted against this underdog Ottawa club.
Well, I think what they want to do right now is to come out and try to see if they can score some points early. Okay? For the sake, Ottawa did a very good job stopping a very powerful Toronto offense and at least holding them to a field goal in that first series.
41 yards, the length of the drive, 5 plays, culminating with Vanderjagt's field goal of 32 yards. So the Rough Riders with the option elect to take the ball at the 35 rather than have Toronto kick off. So it'll be 1st and 10 from that point for Ottawa. Thrilling win last week for the Rough Riders in Lansdowne Park against the BC Lions.
Came back big. They were down 32-16, came back strong. David Archer instigated a tremendous drive right at the end, culminating with the touchdown.
See what Archer does on 1st down. Flag on the play. And the give is to the running back, Barnes. Hold everything. Play may be nullified.
Then we're going to have offsides against Toronto.
That's right. It'll be nullified in a good way for the Ottawa Rough Riders, as they'll mark that ball off.
Offside. Toronto number 92.
Right up to the 40-yard line. So instead of 1st and 10, 1st and 5. Waldrop the guilty party that time.
It's very crucial for David Archer and this offense of Ottawa to come out there and establish some possession drives. Keep control of the ball as much as they can. And as I said in the keys earlier, keep Doug Glutie off the field.
1st and 5 from their own 40. Archer steps up in the pocket, hurls it over the middle. Lucky it wasn't intercepted. Adrian Smith had good coverage on that ball, as it was intended for number 80, Bill Hess. Check that. Rogers, the intended receiver.
David Archer steps up into the pocket, feeling a bit of heat, throws the ball way up high over top of Billy Hess. Good defense at that play that time by Adrian Smith. Comes in, stays with his man all the way through the play.
Key situation here for the Rough Riders. 2nd down and 5. Archer looks to get the first. It is broken up. This time the man Johnny on the spot for Toronto, Greg Eaglin, got his hand in there.
Kind of a cardinal sin. I mean, you get the 1st and 10 play, and then you get a penalty. Now you got 1st and 5, and you still can't pick up the 1st down.
Take a look on the inside here. See David Archer right inside the shotgun. He's going to look up top. That's number 17, Dan Murphy, taking a look at it.
So Lamley back for his 2nd punt. Early going. Angles it toward the sideline, and it does indeed go out of bounds. Let's see where they're going to mark it. Up at the 37-yard line. That's where Doug Glutie and the Argonauts will take over, leading this one 3-zip.
Doug Glutie established that spread offense. He'll come with trips to one side, 2 receivers to the other side. Drummond will be the single back in the backfield. And they use Drummond very well. As he said, Drummond at some point in time during his career at Syracuse, he was used as a wide receiver. So they basically have their 6-pack in. They have 6 bona fide receivers out there.
Glutie in his 7th year in this Canadian Football League. You see his stats through 3 games as the Toronto Argonauts. So many great years Glutie had with the Calgary Stampeders. And I believe one of the motion men was over the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped. Looked like Tyrone Williams jumped the gun.
I think we get illegal procedure inside the line.
Procedure. Toronto number 62. Still first down.
And Perez was the guilty party that time for Toronto.
Chris Perez out of Kansas, 6'6", about 290. He's not hard to see when he makes a move.
No. That'll bring up a first down, but 15 to go. Argos push back to their own 32-yard line. Finding the open man is Glutie, and that's good for a first down. Jeff Fairholm taken down at the 49, but again, some flags are down. One of them dropped up at the 45. It's going to be against the Rough Riders, and that'll ensure that Toronto will decline and take the first.
Illegal contact against the receiver.
Well, they'll mark it off as well.
On an eligible receiver.
No, they'll just put it down at the 49-yard line. That's right.
Decline. First down.
That's the kind of play if you're Ottawa, Dan. I would think, you know, you got a team from 15 yards, first and 15. You can't let them reel off those big plays.
Well, you don't want to give up the big plays all at once and have them get it all back at one time. And Doug Glutie is just, he's a master of being able to do that. You just have to play good, disciplined defense against this guy.
Glutie stays in the pocket. That time, sidearmed the ball to Fairholm. That's the 3rd time he's tried to hit Fairholm tonight. That was just a bad pass that bounced at the center line and never had a chance.
Well, every now and then, Doug Glutie does show up that he is human. He steps up in the pocket, and he throws one of those skips across the river kind of rocks, and it just fell right in front, short of Jeff Fairholm.
2nd down and 10. Drummond is back there next to Glutie.
Key figures there. Good look at Ray Bernard, the middle linebacker in his 2nd year with Ottawa.
Glutie surveying the wide field, gets it outside, and diving ahead for the first down is Masati. He's down to the Ottawa 50-yard line. Humphreys there to help him to the turf, but not until Masati picked up the first.
Now watch Masati come from the top of your screen. He's going to come in, run the in route, stop, then he's going to slide back outside, makes the catch. Doug Glutie is able to throw that ball and bail away from the heat that's coming from the inside.
Nice block by Chris Dioscus, giving Glutie the time to wait on that pattern until it cleared. Glutie rolling to his right, gets another nice block. He'll keep it himself and escape at the 41-yard line. Pierre Vercheval gave Glutie the block that enabled him to pick up the yardage.
Play action pass inside. Doug's going to come out. Now take a good look. 44, Dwayne Knight's got good pressure coming from the backside, but he doesn't have any help containing from the front side. You get the good rusher from the front side coming up, making Doug Glutie pull up. Then Knight has a chance to put on one heck of a lick right in the back of Doug Glutie.
2nd down and 3 at the Ottawa 41-yard line. At midway through the first quarter, 3-0 Toronto. Glutie loads at time, has a man wide open, gets it to him. It's Casola. He may go, but he's caught from behind at the 6-yard line. Making the tackle, Dwayne Knight saved a touchdown.
Norm Casola is a backup running back. He comes in crucial situations. This is just a sneak pattern. Casola is just at the bottom left of your screen. He's blocking. He falls down. Now he's going to get up. The linebacker took his eyes off of him. He's standing out there wide open. All they have to do is play pitch and catch. Knight does a really good job coming and making a touchdown saving tackle.
So it's 1st and goal for Toronto at the Ottawa 6-yard line. So many offensive weapons for Flutie to use. Really stretches the defense, doesn't it?
He uses them, and he makes sure that everybody gets their hands on the ball, Tom.
And Flutie surveys the situation, and a flag goes deep in the end zone.
Time count violation. And that's why Doug, he's very comfortable, and he's a very poised, quarterback.
5-yard penalty out to the 11-yard line.
Toronto number 2.
Really, is it that much of a disadvantage here? You're going for the end zone anyway, and it gives you 5 more yards to work with.
Not at all. I think in this case, now, for people also to know that the end zones in the Canadian Football League are 20 yards deep. So you could be on the 5-yard line. You can still throw a 20, 25-yard pass. There's lots of pasture out there.
Flutie rolling to his left. Drummond is all tied up out there, so Flutie's got to go on his own, and he's bumped out inside the 5-yard line. Making the contact there was Leonard Humphreys. Brings up a 2nd down and goal. Call it just about the 4-yard line.
Doug Glutie does an excellent job that time. What he wants to do, he's trying to swing the ball out to Drummond, who was out there. Swifty burst the defensive end, just grabbed that receiver, the running back, threw him down to the ground, kept his feet up, and then forced Doug Glutie and chased him out of bounds where Humphreys could come over and knock him out.
Key play here in a 3-0 football game. Glutie looking all the way to the left side. Flag on the play, well away from your screen. The intended receiver, Tyrone Williams.
I think we're going to see illegal procedure against Toronto.
Offside against Ottawa.
Comes back the other way.
So the down will remain the same, and the ball will be put a bit closer to the goal line.
That's the kind of things that you just can't do. You have an opportunity to shut down Doug Glutie close inside the red zone, and you don't do it. You make a mental mistake by lining up offsides.
And that's one of the keys to the game that you talked about. You can't be giving them any cheap touchdowns, any cheap scores. If you're making mistakes like that, half the distance, this means the ball just outside the 2. Still remains. Actually, it's 1st down. Gives him a 1st down. Drummond met at the line of scrimmage. He does not get in. They tried to go with Robert Drummond on 1st down. It didn't work.
Terrific surge by that defensive line of Ottawa. And coming over the top, the linebackers of both Bernard and also Dwayne Knight. Take a look as he hands it. Drummond straight ahead. Now look at the head come back. He keeps his feet to his credit, keeps driving. But a crowd of Ottawa Rough Riders come over to make that tackle.
2nd down and goal from the 2. You would think this is 3-down territory for Toronto, but Glutie takes that option away on 2nd down as Doug Glutie uses the quarterback sneak and the surge of the line to get in there. And there again, having to line up a yard off the ball really hurts you if you're on the defense in that situation.
It really does. And the other thing that hurts you is if you look up front, you've got Mike Kislak, the center, at 295, Pierre Vercheval at 275,
and Joe Burgos at 290. That has a little bit of effect on it, too, of getting you into the end zone.
You didn't like button heads of those guys? No?
Yeah, I did. That was pretty good. Trouble is, those guys were so tall, I never got to jump up at 6 foot. I didn't get to see their head very much.
Perhaps that's best. Glutie will be the holder for Vanderjagt on the extra point. Officials straightening something out here before the try for point. So it's a 2-yard touchdown run by Doug Glutie. He had a running touchdown of 45 yards in week 3. Extra point, Vanderjagt boots it through with 5:25 to go in the 1st quarter here from Skydome. Toronto Argonauts 10-0 over the Ottawa Rough Riders.
X Games, sports from the edge. Now, X Games, music from the edge. 17 slamming hits on 1 CD. Gravity Kills. Shades Apart. Ministry. And Red Hot Chili, Lenny Kravitz, DC Boy, Stephen Mary 3, No More. X Games, music from the edge. Get it in stores now.
From ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. It's ESPN Magazine Pro Football 96. Chris Berman, Sterling Sharp, and the ESPN team tackle everything you need to know to start the season. Tough guys, rough guys, new guys, the Big Tuna, Miami Heat, the Dallas Dilemma. Yeah, the big guys are back, and they're all in ESPN Magazine Pro Football 96. On newsstands now.
Our next CFL telecast on ESPN, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers go to Olympic Stadium to battle the Montreal Alouettes. Saturday, July 27th, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 Pacific time. Canadian Football League action continuing on ESPN. Winnipeg at Montreal. Of course, Montreal, that team in body anyway, was in Baltimore last year. That man, Don Matthews, was the coach in Baltimore last year.
Great success story. The first year of the franchise, he takes them to the Grey Cup. They lose in the last second field goal against the BC Lions. Last year, wins the Grey Cup against the Calgary Stampeders in Saskatchewan. This guy has been one of the most successful coaches ever in the CFL.
Well, Vanderjagt set to kick off after the Flutie touchdown made it 10-0. Again, the scoring drive, 11 plays, using up 4 minutes and 17 seconds, 78 yards in length. Will Hyde and Robert Gordon back in double safety for the Rough Riders. Vanderjagt end over end. Bit of a short one. Will Hyde at the 14-yard line. Gets a seam and is tripped up. Some nice work there by Cooper Harris, or else David Archer and company would have a lot better field position. And there is Archer, the former Atlanta Falcon, former Philadelphia Eagle. He's been with several teams in the NFL.
7 touchdown passes to his credit already this season. 5 interceptions. Quarterbacks get very upset with themselves. They like that interception to touchdown ratio to be very, very low. David Archer just needs to be a little more patient right now. Be able to get rid of this ball very quickly. Don't stand in the pocket. This Toronto defense is getting after him.
First down and 10 at the 42. Archer again under pressure, but gets the ball out to the flat. And the receiver over there is Johnson Joseph. I keep wanting to say Joseph Johnson, but it is Johnson Joseph. I apologize to the young man.
And I'm going to apologize prior to even trying to say his name, because I know somewhere I looked down, I thought it was a misprint on the depth chart when I saw that they switched the names around.
Must be a military family. Johnson Joseph.
And Johnson Joseph is out of Texas Tech University. He's a rookie. This is his first start for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
And he picks up a first down to the Toronto 50-yard line. Archer, he's under a bit of a rush. Boy, he's getting pressured early. I mean, he doesn't have the time that Flutie does. Not nearly the time. And landing on top of him that time, Rob Waldrop, also over there, number 56. That's a very popular number. That was Tim Cofield.
That's Rob Waldrop right in the middle. Now watch how this rush is going to come to the outside. He's going to jam, push, and then Cofield's going to slide to the inside. As David Archer steps up into the pocket, Cofield comes off, makes the tackle.
Officially an 8-yard loss. Cofield accounting for that. Second down and trouble. 18 yards for Ottawa. Here comes the rush again. Archer's got to step up, has the time, over the middle. I'll tell you, he was looking for James Ellington, but that bullet appeared to go behind him.
It makes it very easy from a defensive perspective. If you got your quarterback, you know that he's going to be a straight drop back passer. You know he's going to stay in between the tackles. You can pin your ears back, get after him a lot, and that's exactly what Toronto is doing. They've taken David Archer out of his rhythm.
Now I think what Ottawa's got to do, all right, they didn't pick up anything on this drive. Play a little field position, try and get this punt, get Toronto pinned back deep in their own territory. And Jimmy Cunningham is back for the Argonauts to try and foil that strategy.
And he certainly has the ability to do so. Last year, he has a 108-yard punt return for a touchdown. It's the 3rd in Toronto history.
Takes Lamley's punt at the 19. Doesn't get very far over the 25 near the 28-yard line. That's where Doug Glutie and company will start their next drive. It's been all Toronto so far. 10-0 late in the first quarter.
Special financing now available on any Rheem air conditioning system purchased.
The
Wall Street Journal keeps you on the cutting edge with news and insights that can affect you personally and professionally. Subscribe now and have the Journal delivered to your home or office. And with your paid subscription, you'll also receive our free personal finance software to help you make smart decisions. Get 10 weeks of the Journal and the software for only $3.80 a week. Call now, 800-356-9800. That's 800-356-9800 for the Wall Street Journal.
Back here at Skydome, take a look at the new boss. And I said, yes, new boss of Ottawa, John Payne. There's a firing. Jim Gilstrap, the head coach, fired. Dieter Brock, offensive coordinator, fired. In Ottawa, a lot of instability early on.
There really was. And then now, as I say, Gilstrap had hired John Payne to come in to handle the special teams and some help with the receivers. And in a week of being there, now he's the head coach. I asked him yesterday, I said, Coach, that's got to be the biggest and the fastest promotion in CFL history. And then last week, he was coaching not only the head coach, not only the offensive coordinator, he was working with the backs, the special teams, and the quarterbacks. So this week, he's able to take off a few of those hats.
First down for Flutie. Hands off to Drummond over the 30 up to around the 32-yard line. Negligible yardage on that play as Birch made the tackle for the Ottawa Rough Riders. So they'll give Drummond a pickup of 4 yards as Matthews looks on. Coach Matthews of the Toronto Argonauts. 2nd down and 6 coming up. Flutie. Again, the difference, he has the time, but this time he overthrew his intended target. That was Jeff Fairholm, and it'll be a punting situation. We're touching on the Rough Riders. You know, there's been a lot of by-play back and forth between these two teams. A lot of former Argonauts on the roster, and the coaches getting into it.
Well, as a matter of fact, it's coaches and general managers and stuff are getting into it. The players, they understand about the business of this, but there's been some follies been lobbed back and forth between Coach Don Matthews and also Leo Cahill, who is now the general manager of the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Punt gathered in at the 30-yard line for the Rough Riders, and this is Wilhite. Wilhite jukes and jives over the 45 and near the 48-yard line. By far Ottawa's best field position of the night.
And by the way, a guy like Leo Cahill, now he's been around this business for a long time. He was a GM, he was a coach here with Toronto. He was also a CBC broadcaster, and so he knows the league or been around it for quite a long time. He's been away from it, and there's been some comments that have been said, as you can see right there. This was on Don Matthews. Matthews said something. Well, you don't say it jokingly in front of the whole country, for Christ's sake. If he wants to be a comic, he ought to go on David Letterman, but just not during the Olympics, right?
Yeah, he ought to go on Leno during the Olympics. That's where you want to be seen. Archer over the middle has his man, a little scat back, Joseph Rogers. Rogers up near the first down sticks, just shy of the Toronto 52-yard line.
Here's where success can be had by David Archer. Come in, dump that pass quickly. Right now, stop, plant, get rid of it, slow down that rush that's coming up in your face. Buy yourself a little more time. Do some play action, run the ball occasionally. Make these guys respect that you're going to do something, just not where they can tee off and come after you when you're in that shotgun formation.
Well, just inches shy of the first down stick. This is the CFL equivalent of basically a free play, because you're this close to the first down, you're not going to punt it away should it come down to a 3rd down. So a very dangerous play for the Toronto defense here. First foray of the night for Ottawa into Toronto territory. Rough Riders trailing this one 10-zip.
Just as you said, Tom, very free play, 2nd down, take it deep, see if you can get it into the house, pick up a cheap 7. If not, come back on 3rd down, pick up your 1st down, continue your drive.
And taking the short thing is Archer, quarterback sneak, no flags, he'll pick up the 1st down. Now, Coach, we talked about the words that being exchanged back and forth. Let's go to see what Coach Matthews.
Well, these are two men. I mean, they don't pull any punches, and they stand their ground, and they stand up real straight about a lot of things, and they tell it just the way it is. Coach Matthews had this to say about Leo Cahill.
Anything Leo can do to draw a crowd, I'm 100% behind him. You want Leo and I to have a fist fight at halftime, I'm all for it.
And he would. I mean, this guy is a great promoter of the game of football and the Canadian Football League game. He will do anything. And I think maybe Leo Cahill may have taken things a little out of context and too personal.
Oh, just off the hands of Robert Gordon. If he hangs on to that pass from Archer, he could walk into the end zone. He was 5 yards behind the defense. Bringing up 2nd down and 10.
Bobby Gordon, the last time that he was here, he was wearing the Toronto Argonauts uniform last year with the BC Lions, 3rd on that BC team. 48 passes for 824 yards, 4 touchdowns. Great speed, good possession type receiver.
Out of the University of Nebraska at Omaha, Robert Gordon. 2nd and 10. Archer stepping up, going along to the sidelines, looking for Hess. Hess has it and drops it. Oh, that pass was perfectly looped over the hands of Odegaard. Number 23 was with Hess down the sidelines. Hess couldn't hang on.
Billy Hess is that receiver that played last year at San Antonio. The good thing about this from a perspective of the Ottawa Rough Riders, look at the time that David Archer has, steps up into the pocket. Great throw, hits Billy Hess right in the hands. Those are catches that I have seen him make over the past 2 years.
Lamley back to punt, and another good thing for Ottawa, if Lamley can get off a good punt here and they get some good contain, battlefield position would slowly shift in favor of the underdog Rough Riders. Looking for the corner. Doesn't get the favorable bounce, goes into the end zone, and it will be allowed to roll dead. So the single point up on the board for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
You notice right then that the coverage team, when they go down 4 to cover a punt, you have to give a 5-yard cushion. That allows and that keeps the punt return play in line, and a very exciting play for the Canadian Football League game.
After 1, 10-1 Toronto.
There's a medical revolution in America, and its lifeblood isn't a miracle drug or shiny new machine. It's somebody to talk to at 3 a.m. It's a nationwide network linking transplant programs and patients. It's helping you get the right monitoring for every prescription, the right test for every problem. It's a new tool for the doctor, new freedom for the patient. The lifeblood of better healthcare is information, and it's flowing through everything we do. United Healthcare.
Dante and the Big Cat are looking to explode on the NL West in the second half. They take on slick fielding Ken Caminiti and the Pods at the Murph. The Rockies Padres, the Sunday night baseball game of the week, tonight at 8 on ESPN.
Ready for the second quarter of our CFL telecast today between Toronto and Ottawa. Tom Mees along with Dan Kepley. Last play of the first quarter, Ottawa got on the board, but Dan, it's been all Toronto offensively so far.
It really has. The one thing that Doug Glutie does, he keeps the ball in his hand and on his side most of the time.
And this time he's going to keep it for keeps and with negligible results as he faked to the right side, but he didn't fool Frank West, who brought him down after about a 2-yard gain.
Looked like Doug Glutie was trying to set up that little shovel pass that he has done a number of times to Drummond inside. Drummond was covered. Doug Glutie just decided to keep the ball, to take it safe, and be able to line it up. 2nd and 7.
Cutting out to the right. Masani goes to the left. Drummond in the slot to the right. Glutie fumbles the snap. That took a second or two, and that can make a difference. Robert Drummond gathers it in. He probably has the first down yardage as he dragged number 44, Dwayne Knight, with him.
Doug Glutie takes the snap, and he does fumble it. Gets his eyes back on it. Good concentration. Now Drummond's just going to drag right across the formation, and it's a foot race between Drummond and Dwayne Knight. Drummond definitely is going to win that one 9 times out of 10.
And it's a first down up at the 46-yard line for the Argonauts. You see Drummond a great week. Last week, career high in both rushing yardage and receiving yardage in one game. Huge game for Drummond. And here's a huge pass for a first down. Paul Masani. who's been effective tonight inside the 50-yard line of Ottawa.
Now watch Paul Masadi on the outside, how he's going to make just a little bit of a move. Gets to the inside of Tommy Henry. Then he's going to check up, come back. Now he's going to come across the formation. He's already created a gap, a little bit of a void. And Doug Glutie does a good job of putting the ball on the money.
First and 10 at the 48-yard line of Ottawa, and Drummond up the middle. Picks up about 6, maybe 7 yards before he is finally drilled there by J.D. Jakovich.
He's just speaking about Drummond last week. Over 100 yards in both rushing and passing. Pass receptions was 103 yards. Rushing 100 yards exactly.
As you mentioned earlier, former Syracuse Orangeman, played on some pretty good teams with Syracuse. There's a quarterback draw by Flutie. Runs into the back judge there, the field judge. Still picks up the first down. Dave Hutton, the umpire, the umpire number 41.
That's it.
Got in Flutie's way.
Well, you know how those umpires are. They get in there, they want to get down in that stance. They want to play middle linebacker every now and then, and Hutton had a chance to put the bone on him, so he just put the elbow on him and said, I've never hit a millionaire before. We'll knock Doug Glutie down for a fit.
You flying around your days on the defensive side with Edmonton, you must have bumped into a few.
Well, I would try to say, just get behind me. I'd rather have them way behind me than in front of me.
Flutie flushed out of the pocket by West, has a lot of room to roll. Now it closes up, uses a fake. He's got the first down at the 20-yard line. What a fake by Flutie. Kenny Wilhite had to bring him down.
Jeff Fairholm's right at the right of your screen. Watch right now. Does a good job just getting in West's face. Allows Doug Glutie to get outside. Now the shoulder outside fake. Jakovich gets head up to him, and you give Doug Glutie a two-way go. He's going to make you look pretty silly. Exactly what he just did.
Glutie 5'10", 175-pounder, of course, out of Boston College. And you can see offensively the seesaw has been on the Argonaut side of the ledger. Glutie again all day to throw the football. Has his man first and goal at the 3-yard line, but there are flags down. Receiver was Tyrone Williams. The question is, will the play stand? Flags to the line of scrimmage. And an injured Rough Rider down there. It's number 90, Swift Birch. Jeff Cummins, rather, Obi Spanik comes in to replace Birch, who is not yet off the turf.
Swifty Birch released this year. He played for the Toronto Argonauts last year.
Penalties against Ottawa, so everything going Toronto's way. The play will stand. It'll be first and goal at the 3.
On the outside, you're just going to get a little move coming inside Jakovich. Good move outside. Not going to get there quick enough. That offensive line on the right-hand side, Stevenson and Burgos both pick it up. By Doug Glutie a lot of time. And what he does when he has time, he just completes passes, his pitch and catch.
Well, Swift Birch is now getting up off the AstroTurf. Here at Skydome, there's Flutie. Percentage up from what it has been for the first 3 games. 8 for 12, 125 yards.
Well, the big thing that is really bothering Doug Glutie right now is that through the course of the season, he's thrown 7 interceptions. Last year, through the course of 333 attempts, he only threw 5 interceptions. 4 of those happened to be in 1 game.
First and goal from the 3. Robert Drummond pile drives into the end zone. Drummond met 2 Ottawa Rough Riders at the goal line. Bernard slowed his forward progress, could not stop it, and Drummond puts Toronto up for the time being 16-1.
It's amazing you were talking about using those words about slowing it up. There's an advertisement in the Toronto Sun today announcing about the game, and it says, as Drummond, as we look here, he says, there are ways of slowing Robert Drummond down, but fire hoses, alligator pits, and lava aren't allowed in the CFL.
Well, I have to watch the rules committee to see if any of those make it on the docket for next year. Extra point by Vanderchat is good, but there's a flag on the extra point. And we're going to have to see what happens here. Referees conferring. Holding against Toronto. That'll wipe out the extra point.
Back it up and have them kick it again. That's the only way to do it.
Ottawa really doesn't have any recourse in this. They're conferring with the Rough Riders.
They're just trying to figure out where the spot is and where it should be placed again.
Toronto number 63 will replay the convert.
And Vanderchat will be out there to do it again. This will feel like a field goal to him. Glutie will be kneeling at just about the 22-yard line. And Drummond getting attended to there on the Toronto bench.
Well, from two perspectives, this is exactly what Don Matthews and the Toronto Argonauts wanted to do. They wanted to come out, they wanted to play this type of football, be in control of this game from the opening kickoff, and they exactly have done that.
Vanderchat, a 22-yard extra point coming up. And this one is through, no flags, and so it will stand. The dominance of the Toronto Argonauts continues. 10:18 to go in the first half. 17-1 the score.
Football fans, you've waited long enough. The NFL is back, and Sports Illustrated wants to know, who do you pledge allegiance to?
I pledge allegiance to the silver and blue, to the black and gold of my favorite team, the Raiders, the Cowboys, the Steelers, and to their big, bad defense and their goal line stand. One unit, indivisible, with touchdowns and tackles for all.
Whoever you pledge allegiance to, Sports Illustrated lets you wear it proud with this exclusive 100% cotton Pledge Allegiance t-shirt featuring the NFL team of your choice. Oh! Call now and you'll also get your team's official 1996 video yearbook, both free with your paid subscription to SI. Get 54 issues for only $1.48 an issue. Save over 55% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Get your Pledge Allegiance t-shirt and team video yearbook free from Sports Illustrated and nowhere else. Get into it.
So, what would you do to save a buck? Taco Bell introduces $1.99 extreme value combos. 4 new meals like 3 tacos and a drink, each a buck less than some burger combo. $1.99 extreme value combos. Now you can save for something you really need, like more pans.
There's nothing ordinary about it, Taco Bell.
Robert Drummond taking a well-deserved rest on that Argonaut bench. She scored the touchdown to put the Argos up by 16 at 17-1. And Vanderchat set to kick off for Toronto. You don't want to paint a bleak picture as we look at Glutie, also takes a well-deserved rest after that 75-yard drive, I should say. But you don't want to paint too bleak a picture for Ottawa, but they got to get something going offensively, Dan.
No, I think it's been completely up to them. I mean, they're in control of their own destiny right now. The way that they're performing and trying to execute out there offensively has been dismal. They're getting nothing done, no success. Somewhere David Archer has got to go back into the repertoire, take a look at a few things, and make something happen. Good look in the face of Ray Bernard, middle linebacker for the Ottawa Rough Riders. And that's a big point, too. The defense has got to come up big and be able to turn the ball back over and give it into David Archer's hands a few more times.
Well, a short line drive kickoff bounced off one Rough Rider into the hands of linebacker Nick Richards, and we all know how great those linebackers are returning kicks. And Richards is brought down at the 40-yard line.
Well, that's exactly why they're over there being linebackers. The one thing that they really are good at is grabbing cloth and knocking people down.
Archer and company will start 1st and 10 from their own 40. And 10 minutes and 12 seconds and counting left to go here in the first half.
4 seasons ago, David Archer in his rookie year threw for over 6,000 yards. He's the first guy to ever do it in his first year. He needs to throw for maybe 10 or 15, and he would be very happy.
Draw play up the middle for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Reggie Barnes hasn't seen the ball much in this football game since the first drive of the game. Gets up to the 46.
Hurry up offense by David Archer, trying to see if he can confuse this Toronto defense somewhat. Good thing, run the ball inside. Maybe it's going to open up that throwing game a bit so he can pick up a first down.
2nd and 4 for Archer. Has the completion and now has the first down. Hess gathers it in. And he's brought down up at the 52-yard line over the first down marker. Ed Berry makes the tackle for Toronto.
Take a look as Billy Hess just slides in. He sees the zone, turns around, finds the open area. Donnie Wilson comes up, misses the tackle.
Again, a hurry-up call. Barnes, the quick reception inside the 50 to the 48-yard line. So the Rough Rider coaches have obviously made some adjustments here.
Just a bit. I think what they're trying to do, they're not giving that Toronto defense too much time to be able to set up, to find out exactly what Ottawa is doing. Coming up, quick releases, some runs inside, some play-action passes. They're not forcing it a bit, but they are trying to slow up that rush, and it's buying some time for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Maybe the best break for Toronto this drive. The officials calling for a measurement to see if a first down had been picked up. It stops the tempo a little bit. Very close, maybe within a chain link. Referee gets his caliper out and says it's second down. Those left foot, right foot deals, right?
That's just about. Very concerned look on John Payne's face. A lot of pressure has fallen upon him, and obviously dismissal of the head coach, the offensive coordinator. They've had 2 weeks to establish some type of offense, and that guy has had a great input in doing that, David Archer.
Archer with a give on second down and very short. Lee Knight just rumbles over the line of scrimmage and picks up the first down. Knight, 6'3", 240. It was a no-brainer on that play.
Played 9 years with the Hamilton Ticats. Was very emotional about coming over to Toronto up the road, but all he wanted to do says, I still want to play this game. I love it. So he's getting a good opportunity now. Archer
to the sidelines. Gordon has it, and Gordon is hustled out of bounds. Not until he gets down to the 25-yard line. Adrian Smith was on the coverage for the Argos. Nice looking drive here for Ottawa.
Excellent drive. David Archer's going to come out. He's going to look exactly where he's going to throw the ball. Airs it out just a bit. Adrian Smith slow reacting up to that pass. That pass was kind of lobbing out there somewhat, but it allowed.
And Archer has enough time to hit Hess coming over the middle. He's dragged down inside the 15-yard line. On the tackle there was Dan Murphy. All of a sudden, Archer is making those quick reads, quick snaps, and boom, 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 right down the field.
He's taking the heat off of him a bit, and he's not standing back in that pocket, taking those 5- and 7-step drops, making that offensive line try to keep the Toronto defense out. He's getting rid of it, slowing that rush down.
Archer gets it out in the flat, hauled in there by Barnes. Barnes in turn hauled in at the 15-yard line. That may be the least successful play of this drive.
But Tom, you can also think maybe on the defensive side for Toronto. They've had a very easy go of it so far. They really haven't had to do anything, and now they're up 17-1. Sometimes you may get complacent out there, and that's one thing that Don Matthews will not stand for.
Second down and 9. Gain of only 1 on that last play. Archer has to hold on to the ball as he's brought down from behind. Rob Walbrook comes from behind, wraps up the legs, and forces a field goal attempt for Lamley.
As we said, if you have an opportunity to make David Archer hold the ball a little longer than he wants to, Toronto has great coverage people in the secondary. He forces it up. The heat's going to make him come up into the pocket, and they make no mistake with Tim Cofield, the leading sacker in the CFL last year, making that tackle.
Lamley, of course, will attempt a field goal. Rice-Savvy, Dallas Rice-Savvy is the holder. This is a 25-yard attempt, angle to the right. Plenty long enough, and the kick is good. So the Ottawa Rough Riders are on the board with a field goal added to their single at the end of the first. Trims the Toronto lead to 17-4.
What questions keep men up nights? How good can you possibly feel? Are you looking for peak performance? Men's Health magazine has the answers. Call now and get your first issue free. You'll discover uncommon knowledge like 50 ways to flatten your stomach without sit-ups, how to cut your cholesterol 30 points in only 30 days, 5 intimate secrets to better relationships. With this special TV offer, you'll also get these 3 vital books free. Discover the sex secrets women wish men knew. Learn how to get rid of that gut quickly and easily. Plus, you'll get 101 Men's Health secrets every man should know. Call now for your free trial issue of Men's Health. You'll get the full year of Men's Health for $19.97 and these 3 books free. Where are the answers to your questions? In Men's Health.
Call 1-800-418-5577 now for a free trial issue of Men's Health magazine. Subscribe now at our lowest price and get all 3 books free. Have your credit card ready.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in this ESPN program.
More CFL action on tap on ESPN Saturday, July 27th from Olympic Stadium in Montreal. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers take on the Montreal Alouettes. 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific time. CFL action again on ESPN Saturday, July 27th. John Payne, the head coach on the left. The youngster with the beard is related to John Payne. That is his son, Rod.
He is. They just brought him in. He's been in town for about a week. He's going to handle the running backs and special teams. He's also the strength and conditioning coach. So there's a lot of guys getting thrown in the fire on the Ottawa side of the ball.
Sort of like being thrown into a pool and say, here, swim.
Hey, you know, my grandpa did that to me, but it wasn't that hard swimming once I got out of that sack.
I'm lucky my grandpa never did that to me. I wouldn't be here with you. First and 10 for Ottawa at their own 21-yard line. Reggie Barnes over the 20 to the 25-yard line. He's the workhorse of the running game for Ottawa. And Cofield brings him down. Barnes out of Delaware State. Another 1AA program in the town of Dover, Delaware. Second down and 6. Archer dropping back again. He feels pressure right at the end, and he's lucky it wasn't picked off there by Toronto's Ed Berry. He made a point during the commercial that Archer gone away from what was successful in that one big drive they had.
Well, what happened was that Toronto got after him on the first down and put him in a second and long situation again. He got back into that shotgun, and then the heat came, and exactly that same thing happened again. It was 2nd and 6. He's in the shotgun. He's got to get rid of the pass quickly. But Archer, you can see the concern on his face. He's getting a little upset. He's expecting those guys up front need to buy a little time for him. Find a way to get in front of you guy. Give David Archer just a few more seconds to throw the ball.
So 2 and out for the Riders, and a short punt. Jimmy Cunningham lets it drop well in front of him. Now he picks it up at the center stripe. Flag on the play as Cunningham is brought down shortly after grabbing that punt.
Now what they're going to have, they're going to call a no yards on that play. But there's 2 different calls on this play. There's a no yards penalty where you're flagrant, and it's going to be a 15-yard penalty from the spot. There's a no yards penalty when you're actually trying to make an effort to get out of the way, and it's a 5-yard penalty. Let's see what they're called.
Ottawa number 96, first down.
5-yard penalty, and I think that's the right call because I think most of the Rough Riders thought, well, okay, he's not going to pick it up. And they were trying to cover the ball, and all of a sudden he zooms in and picks the ball.
Well, it's awfully hard, particularly when you're running down full speed to try to get to a punt. It hits the turf, and it backs up on you, so now it's coming back towards you. You're trying to get out of the way of it. So the penalty is much fairer now. It used to be 15 yards all the time.
Glutie starts this drive inside Ottawa territory, gets a pass way out on the flat to Cunningham, and a nice job there defensively by number 23, Leonard Humphreys. He lets Cunningham get by him. Cunningham goes all the way.
Humphreys came up really hard. He closed quickly. Take a look to the inside, just a hitch. The ball floats out there. It's kind of a duck that flows over. Humphreys comes to the inside. Cunningham almost makes that move to slip outside of him.
One man for Toronto we haven't seen touch the ball yet tonight. Very dangerous when he gets it. Mike Pinball Clemens. He's out there, number 31. He hasn't had a touch yet tonight. He is exciting when he gets in the open field. Glutie. Bounce pass in front of Clemens at the 43-yard line.
Is his headset hooked up to Flutie now? Are you talking to him?
He made me look good. He made me look good.
Oh, I can't believe this. You had this set up.
No.
That hand signal?
No.
But
No.
Mike Pinball Clemens, folks, for you people know, he is a mainstay here in the Toronto area. He's played 8 seasons here. One of the most exciting, electrifying punt returners and offensive personnel that you can see. Small guy, 5'6", 170 pounds, and probably 165 pounds of that is all heart.
Vanderchat, fake punt. Now he decides to get rid of it. He faked the pass. He'll go for the coffin corner to the sideline, but it's picked up instead at the 10-yard line, well across the field by Wilhite. Gets up to about the 15 where he is buried. Explain that, Vanderchat. Is that a play we see often in the CFL?
What it is, it's a play that Don Matthews wanted to have the fake punt in, and what he did, the defense has adjusted to it right at the last minute. Vanderchat made a good job of kicking the ball away.
The customer's a big key in the repair. If you can't listen to customers, you've got no business being in a dealership. But sometimes it takes a little extra effort.
That's right here in the north.
You've got to listen to the customer, get in the vehicle with the customer, drive it, whatever the case might be. Quality care standards is what they're called. We have a lot of competition out there. It's our obligation to do a better job, and that's what we're going to do.
Quality care people, quality care standards at your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealer.
My last cigarette was 11:52 last night. First piece of Nicorette was about 30 seconds after I woke up. I don't know how I feel yet. I'm still not smoking. 7 days. Nicorette takes just enough of the edge off the need. I still want to light up, but I don't have to. I don't have to.
If you want to stop smoking, Nicorette gum can increase your chance of success by helping control your cravings. And now it's available without a prescription. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
Hope you're enjoying our coverage of the Canadian Football League on ESPN. The Ottawa Rough Riders taking on the Toronto Argonauts at Skydome in Toronto, Ontario. Due to time constraints, we have to move on now to further action in this game. Doug Glutie and the Argonauts taking on David Archer and the Ottawa Rough Riders. Enjoy. Big play here is 2nd and 16. Ottawa may get one more chance with the ball before this half comes to an end. Glutie. Jimmy Cunningham, and Leonard Humphreys was there to make sure the diminutive Cunningham didn't hang on. So Ottawa will get another shot with a football, and they should have decent field position.
Humphreys out of Penn State does a great job of closing on this. Jimmy Cunningham comes down, drags across the middle just on the deep end route. Wide open if the pass is thrown just a little bit lower. It goes up high. That allows Humphreys to go up and make a play on the ball. Ottawa will get it back for another chance.
Will Height sent way back. Vanderchat's best punt of the night. Will Height at the 29. Dragged down over the 33-yard line. I tell you, your punter could be an offensive weapon, and Vanderchat certainly was that time.
You know, the young kid has really risen up to the occasion. Vanderchat, and this is his rookie year, had an opportunity last couple of weeks. There's been some rumblings around that they're not happy with the kicking game. Maybe Don Matthews is going to make a change. Last week, he just went out and had a 51-point average for his punting. And then in a crucial situation, he comes with just a howitzer, and he just bombs one away.
Vanderchat from Oakville, Ontario, played his college ball, though, for the West Virginia Mountaineers.
You know a lot about that.
I sure do, I tell you. Those folks in Morgantown, good folks.
Now, wait a second. Was that a little twang come out?
A little bit. Well, you know, 6 years in one place. You tend to take some things with you.
I know what you're talking about. All right.
Mr. North Carolina. Here's Archer. Plenty of time this time. Over the middle. Almost intercepted, and it nearly was. Number 12 for Toronto, Adrian Smith, had both hands on that one. The intended receiver for Ottawa was Johnson Joseph.
David Archer comes back. He's going to run the deep end this time. Stand up. Little pressure on him. The willow wobble on the ball. But Adrian Smith makes a great break. Almost comes up with a big pick.
2nd down and 10. 49 seconds left in the half. Little dump pass, and this one is dropped by the running back, Reggie Barnes, and Ottawa will have to punt it away.
A couple of real key mental mistakes that have been taking place in the first half of this ball game for Ottawa. An offsides that gave Toronto another chance to set up early in the first quarter. They end up getting a touchdown out of it. Drop pass by Billy Hess. Now another drop pass by Reggie Barnes in crucial situation. The big thing about pro guys is when you get an opportunity to make a play, you've got to be able to make it.
So in the last minute or so of this football game, the ball be turned over for the 3rd time. So the CFL, you've always got a shot here.
There's 45 seconds to go. Doug Glutie still has a chance to get 3 points and maybe a home run on the board before they go in at half.
Cunningham back in single safety. Lamley's punt is a high one. Cunningham back at the 28. Hendon at the sideline. Got it up to around the 37, 38-yard line. Good coverage there by the Rough Riders. Tommy Henry first to get him. Jim Fairholm and the rest of the Argonauts coming on the field. with 34 seconds left in the half.
Be interesting to see just exactly what Doug Glutie's mental philosophy is coming out here on this. Are you going to be contented, run the ball a couple of times, punt it away, see if you get the first down, play it safe? Or do you do something and try to take it and see if you can create a little more gap between this 17-4 lead that they already have?
Drummond is the only man right next to Flutie there in the backfield. He's just there to block and then go out on the flat. Glutie going for a big one to Cunningham on the sidelines. And Humphreys had a free shot, and he took it at Cunningham. That had to hurt.
Jimmy's not that big. He's 5'7", about 160. Out of Howard University.
Oh, you're extended, you're ripped. He's lucky he didn't get a shot in the ribs.
Well, you're pretty vulnerable. I think at that point Humphreys was pretty generous as far as cautious as far as not taking that helmet and driving it right into the rib cage. He could have gotten himself hurt.
2nd and 10. Flag on the play as Flutie steps up. He's in some trouble. He goes down at the 33-yard line and making the tackle there. Lubo's Zizakovic. For the Ottawa Rough Riders, let's see who the penalty's against.
Illegal procedure against Toronto. Ottawa will
get it again.
They'll cancel the penalty. They'll turn it down and force Toronto to kick the ball again.
Trotter number 81.
You know,
you still get a chance. Like I say, there's 23 seconds left on him.
This Argos offense was so dominant in the first quarter. It's not been that good here in the second.
I think what's happening, and that'll be something that Coach Matthews, as you see him right there on the sideline, he'll have a little conversation with his offensive personnel when he goes in there. He says, listen, I only ask you to tee it up one time a week. One time a week is to go out there and to get excited about when you play, and I need you to play for 60 minutes, not just for the first 15, and think that we can coast through it.
And then he proceeded to say, and this week it's Wednesday night. I said, Coach, you had to remind him. He goes, well, they're football players. And I said, uh-oh. Vanderchat sitting on his own 10-yard or 15-yard line. Whistle holding up play. They were ready to snap it. Officials stopping the play. Vanderchat standing at his own 18-yard line should get the punt off from about the 22. End over end, and it is short. Bobble had picked up at the 40-yard line by Ottawa's Robert Gordon, and that bobble cost him. He's brought down just short of the 40-yard line. Murphy made the tackle. 5 seconds left on the clock, so time for Archer to load one up.
That's it. Just might as well sell it out. Go for the home run ball one time. See what can happen right before the half. And then be able to go in there and try to regroup over the halftime.
Ball placed to the 39-yard line. Should he hit a home run here? Remember, the field 110 yards long in the CFL. It'll be a 71-yarder if he hit one. The key here is time. Oh, a little dump-off pass over the middle. This will be fairly successful, but it will run out the clock. Has first down yardage and little else. So the first half has come to an end here at Skydome. And our score, the Toronto Argonauts 17 and the Ottawa Rough Riders 4. And Coach Don Matthews is making his way over towards our location, and we'll talk with him in just a second. There you see Coach Matthews. Do you think he'll be upset or be happy with what he's seen here in the first half?
No, I think he's going to be a little upset. I mean, he liked the way his ball clip came out in the first half. First quarter, I should say, played extremely well, did the things that they needed to do to get points on the board, and then they went to sleep. This is not his style of football. He's 60 minutes, very focused. He will let them know he's disappointed with it.
So 17-4 is the advantage in favor of the Toronto Argonauts. Now, remember, coming into this game, Argos a 2-1 record on the year. Ottawa 1-2, so only that one game separating the two in the standings, and so obviously the result here is important. Now Don Matthews is with us. Don, Dan and I were discussing if you'd be happy or not so happy with the first half. Give us your answer.
To be in sync like we should be offensively. I think defensively we're doing well, and but we just don't seem to have the rhythm of the sync going offensively.
Doug Glutie seems to be a little bit off target tonight, Coach. Is there any particular reason because of that?
Well, no, there's no reason, you know, and he says that. He says, I'm just not throwing the ball well. He said, I've got guys wide open, and I'm not getting it to him. But if you know Doug, he'll settle down. He'll get it done in the second half.
Don, offensively, Ottawa, the only time they seem to have any rhythm going and be effective is when Archer had their hurry-up offense going. They had it for that one drive. Do you expect to see that in the second half?
Yeah, you know, we work against it all the time, and so we're prepared for it. But, you know, the hurry-up offense has a lot of advantages.
All right, well, get in there, talk to your club, and good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Coach Don Matthews of the Toronto Argonauts. He and his Argos go to the locker room with a 13-point lead. It's halftime at Skydome. Toronto 17 and Ottawa 4. Back in a moment.
X Games, sports from the edge. Now, X Games, music from the edge. 17 slamming hits on one CD. Gravity Kills. Take my tears and Shades Apart. Ministry. And Red Hot Chili, Lenny Kravitz, DC Moore, Seven Mary Faith, No More. X Games, music from the edge. Get it in stores now.
The Wall Street Journal keeps you on the cutting edge with news and insights that can affect you personally and professionally. Subscribe now and have the Journal delivered to your home or office. And with your paid subscription, you'll also receive our free personal finance software to help you make smart decisions. Get 10 weeks of the Journal and the software for only $3.80 a week. Call now, 800-356-9800. That's 800-356-9800 for the Wall Street Journal.
From ESPN Labs, ESPN Net Sports Zone. Updated nearly 1,000 times an hour, it always has something new to make you a better fan. ESPN Net Sports Zone. Technology for you.
Set for the second half here at Skydome. Tom Mees and Dan Kempley with you. That is David Archer, quarterback for the Ottawa Rough Riders. And you heard Coach John Payne tell us earlier that, yeah, you're going to see a lot more of the hurry-up offense from his boys in the second half, Dan.
Well, I think at the time, in the first half, it comes maybe as a bit of surprise to the Toronto defense. They go in and they have an opportunity to talk it over. They've got some set defenses and some plays that they're going to call defensively to take and see if they can offset that hurry-up offense. So it will not be probably as effective as it was in the first half.
And remember that the Toronto Argonauts won the opening toss. Don Matthews' team did. They deferred to the second half, and because of that, they will get the second half kickoff. Lamley is teeing it up at the 35-yard line. So the Argos with a 13-point lead will have a chance right off the bat to try and extend it. And we took a gander at the first half stats. It wasn't that Doug Glutie was really airing the ball out that first half.
No, I think he threw like 17 passes, and he's been averaging somewhere between 42 and 44 passes per game. So he's going to have to air it out a lot in the third quarter and the fourth quarter here.
For Toronto, it's pinball. Mike Clemens with it. Jukes and jives up to the 30-yard line. He is brought down there by Dwayne Knight. So Clemens is held in check pretty well on the kickoff return. 1st and 10 for Flutie and company there.
Crucial series, I think, for the confidence of this Toronto offense to come back out and start this second half the exact same way they started the first half, but this way be able to maintain 30 minutes of focus on getting the job done.
1st and 10 for the 30-yard line. Let's see what Flutie elects to do. Robert Drummond is his main weapon in the backfield, but last week he proved he also could be a big weapon as a pass receiver. Take a closer look. Those halftime stats in a moment. Flag on the play on 1st down as Flutie airs it out. Pinball Clemens with the reception. And he is hit down there by Miro. 1st down, but hold everything. There is a flag on the play.
Offside.
Referee sent to give the indication it's against the Ottawa Rough Riders. It'll be declined. It'll be 1st and 10. Swift Birch. Dan, the halftime stats, what do they show?
Well, you can see right there, everything seems to be pretty equal. There's not a lot of difference between these two ball clubs, except in this sense where Toronto was able to rush the ball a little bit better than the Ottawa Rough Riders, and at least that play action stuff set up some passes that Doug Glutie was able to complete.
And you saw the goose eggs down there in the turnover department. Nary a turnover in the first half. Unusual?
Well, I think that could be fairly unusual, but it also shows some real discipline on both of these quarterbacks here. You've got Doug Glutie and David Archer veteran quarterbacks have been around. They're not going to make bad passes. They're not going to throw the ball up for grabs. There may have been one play that you and I were talking about earlier, the young receiver on the outside, Joseph, that we thought maybe he had fumbled. There was a no call on that play. But anyway, at that point, you can go in and be very contented that you didn't turn the ball over.
Flutie rifling the ball for the catch of the first down just over the center stripe. Making the catch was Tyrone Williams, and bringing him down the duo of Miro and Jakovic, sure. You know, you're good with those Polish names, and, you know, those Slavic names.
Wait a second, it's much of just think Russian. I mean,
there you go.
As many hockey games as you've done.
I know. There should be a layup for me, Jakovic. I'm just having trouble.
Jakovikov.
Okay.
Then you can get it down right.
1st and 10 for Flutie, rolling right. Fires immediately. Fairholm is man. Fairholm has a lot of real estate. Down the sidelines, and he's finally knocked out of bounds by Wilhite. Near the 24-yard line, they say. Wilhite got a body on it.
Jeff Fairholm's out of Arizona. Just a simple out pattern. He gets one-on-one with the outside linebacker, Bobby Dawson. He's able to outrun and foot race down the sideline. Now he's a good tightrope artist. Stay in bounds, picks up an extra 4 or 5 yards before he gets knocked out.
1st and 10, Toronto. 24-yard line of Ottawa, and Flutie calls his own number. And wisely heads toward the turf before he really gets drilled at about the 19-yard line. Wayne Knight given credit for the tackle. Pickup of about 5.
Doug Flutie's one heck of a competitor. He'll get the job done any way that he can, and he's willing to take the punishment to make sure that they reach their goal and do exactly what they want to do. You can take a look at the hit. Knight comes over the top. Underneath is Fowler. He gets sandwiched, but Doug Glutie stands in the shotgun now.
Straight back pedal over the middle, complete at the 5, and right down at the 2-yard line is Tyrone Williams. There on the coverage for Ottawa was Bobby Dawson. Williams has it, 1st and goal.
Take a look at the hole. The safety's out of the middle. Doug Glutie reads it immediately. Williams gets to the inside of Wilhite. Wilhite, and as soon as Wilhite does that, he steps to the outside. The middle's wide open, and again, Doug Glutie just plays pitch and catch with Tyrone Williams.
So the Argos coming out like a fire-breathing dragon here, right down the field. Flutie fakes the handoff, goes the other way, little shovel pass, touchdown. Looked like a chest pass in basketball to Tyrone Williams for 6 points. You don't see the shovel pass executed just like that all the time.
There is no way that Doug Glutie is going to be able to turn that right shoulder back, get the body turn, and be able to throw that when he's getting chased down from behind with Dwayne Knight. Great presence of mind and terrific athletic ability. Look at Knight, how he's going to chase him. He can't turn the right shoulder back. He just pitches it forward. These guys act like they're on the beach somewhere. They're throwing the volleyball around a little bit.
Flutie in there to hold for Vanderchat's extra point. Up, and it is good. 11:59 still to go in the 3rd quarter. The Argo fans are happy. Their team has come out in the 2nd half and put a hurt on Ottawa. They lead it by 20.